Both brokers worked with the call center without the applicants to get their applications submitted with fake social security numbers. Oh!
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. Look, these Somalians have taken billions of dollars out of our country, and all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with... Go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution.
Massive Obamacare fraud now discovered. Subsidies being handed out to everybody other than American citizens. We got to pay for it, but then the states just give it out to illegal aliens and people who don't deserve it. And now Breitbart went through a report that was released by the Ways and Means chairman that suggests a staggering level of fraud thanks to the Obamacare subsidies, which is why they wanted them back so badly. That's why they shut the government down, because they need to keep a huge mass of illegal aliens in their cities, because that's how they get federal funding and that's how they get congressional seats. And so if they lose all these people, then they're in big trouble. They're going to lose congressional seats. And Jasmine Crockett's going to go out there and start crying about how po she is. Now, the Government Accountability Office, they came out with a report on the massive levels of fraud that came with these tax credits, an Affordable Care Act or Obamacare subsidy to health insurers to lower the monthly health insurance premiums. Now, Democrats shut down the government for weeks over this, but the analysis found that 100% of fake applicants were approved by Medicare. 90% of the fraudulent applications continued to get government coverage in 2025. The chairman said the GAO study reifies Republican concerns about Obamacare. He said Republicans have sounded the alarm on the flawed structural integrity of Obamacare and how Democrats and their failed policies to temporarily prop up the program are exacerbating fraud, hurting patients, increasing the burden on American taxpayers, and more. And a lot of quotes from him, but they released a full report over here, and here is what it looks like. And they give us this detail. They say the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, it provides premium tax credits to those who purchase private health insurance and meet other requirements. Now, millions of consumers have purchased these plans, and these marketplaces cost a lot. We paid nearly $124 million for about 19 million enrollees in the 2024 plan. Now, indictments highlight concerns about agent and broker practices. We've got new indictments apparently that have come down. They say that bad actors enrolled consumers in insurance through the federal marketplace. So fraudsters would take your name, enroll them, falsify information, submit them into the marketplace. Additionally, the agency received 275,000 complaints that consumers were enrolled in a plan or had their plan changed without their consent. That's a ton of people. Such practices can result in wasteful spending, and these practices can result in harm and unexpected costs for consumers, include loss of access to providers, higher co-payments, higher deductibles. We previously reported the risk of fraud. In September 16, we found that federal and state marketplaces approved coverage for our fictitious applicants. Wow. Nearly all of these fictitious applicants remain covered after we sent fictitious documents. It's just like a rubber stamp. Our government just doesn't even care. You asked us to review these issues and report back on you, and that's what we're doing now. Now, we did in 2024, we ran covert tests. There were fictitious applicants who provided invalid, never even issued security numbers, just made up numbers, and they sent them in. And they're like, yeah, that looks good. Additionally, we stated income at a level eligible to obtain this. Now, as appropriate, we use publicly available information to make our fake applications, use publicly available hardware, software, and all the things. And so we're not using anything special, okay? Anybody can do this. Now, to examine the plans, we enrolled a bunch of fake stuff, analyzed data, and found a bunch of things that are problematic. But all 4 of our fake applicants got coverage in late 2024. So if you're an illegal alien and your social security number is supposed to be validated so that they can say, oh, you're a citizen or not a citizen, and give you benefits or not, they're not even checking. They sent in fake applications, 4 of them, to get insurance coverage. They got them. We submitted the applications outside of the open window. In 2 cases, we applied through healthcare.gov. In 2 other cases, we applied via telephone. The brokers that assisted us used systems that were part of the EDE. Now, the federal marketplace approved fully subsidized insurance coverage for all 4 of our fake applicants. So all you have to be is an illegal, just submit your form. The combined total amount paid to insurance companies for all 4 of these enrollees was $23.50 per month for fraudulent applications. It's almost 10 grand a month. While our enrollees are not generalizable to the universe of the enrollees, they suggest pretty weaknesses in enrollment controls. Nobody is checking identity. Nobody's doing any income verification, and it's all just a giant scam. Here's the outcomes. Healthcare.gov, they completed fictitious documentation. The marketplace requested income and citizenship. Obviously, this person was not a citizen. It was a fake person. And did they get enrolled? Yes, they did. Wow. Here's the another one, healthcare, same thing. Was anything requested? No income, no citizen. Didn't even check. Did you get approved? Yes. Here you go. Here's a broker from healthcare.gov. Did they even check identity? No, they didn't care. Social security number? Didn't submit it. Income? Didn't submit it. Citizenship? Fake citizenship numbers they sent in. And did they get accepted by the marketplace? Yes, they did. Another broker from an advertisement provided nothing. No social, no income, no citizenship. They broker you right in. You get subsidized healthcare for illegal aliens. Now, the federal marketplace requires applicants to verify their identity. However, for both of these, our fictitious applicants initially failed the identity. However, we were later cleared, so they failed the online identity proofing step. It says, oh, we can't verify your identity. They say, oh, good, you checked us, you kicked us out. However, we were later cleared with our fictitious ID. We later said, oh, okay, we can't automatically validate your ID. They check it. There's a system says we can't find you. So you submit a follow-up and they say, no problem, come on in. Similarly, these entities must require that agents and brokers who assist these consumers actually check ID. But when we went through the other brokers, we were not requested to submit any documentation at all. The systems used by the brokers flagged our socials as unverified. So your socials don't match anything. They checked the system. But then in October, they began requiring the socials. But in both cases, brokers assisting our applicants called the marketplace call center. They said, hey, we're a broker. We're trying to get this person registered. Social's not working. During the calls, our fictitious applicants authorized their brokers to discuss the applications with the marketplace call center without the applicants present. So they say, yeah, no, just figure it out for me. Both brokers worked with the call center without the applicants to get their applications submitted with fake social security numbers. Oh, yeah. So the laws all say that they're supposed to, check your ID. And that's why the Democrats come out repeatedly. They're like, no. You have to have a social. It has to be validated. We can't hand you Medicare benefits or Medicaid benefits. They don't even check them. They do check them. They say they're invalid. They don't care. They override it. Here, have some benefits. Now, the marketplace uses the hub to validate these things, but it generates inconsistent data. In one case, it didn't even request documentation to corroborate their citizen. Didn't even check, don't care. Estimated income, doesn't care. The marketplace did not request documentation to support the SSN and more. So we either are not requested to provide any documentation, but our 4 applicants got coverage. Because we applied for coverage late in the year, the due dates of the requested documentation fell way after the end of the plan year. Okay, we were even outside the rules. In one case, we received a notice from the marketplace that it confirmed the income, but we didn't submit any income. They're like, oh, hey, great job. We've reviewed your financial documents and we found that you're eligible for subsidies. Congratulations. They're like, that's weird. We didn't give you any documents. Such weaknesses is just because they're handing out our money to anybody that just submits a form. They don't care. And you know how many illegal aliens and Somalis are probably doing this? A lot. So here, the combined money paid to insurance companies for these 18 enrollees was over $10,000 per month. These were fictitious enrollees. They were not generalizable to the universe of enrollees, but they just handed out the money. Consumers who choose to have credit paid through this must reconcile the amount that is paid. The report goes on and on. One issue that can hinder the reconciliation is the use of a social that does not belong to the enrollee. We identified 29,000 socials with more than 365 days of insurance coverage in 23. Lots of people getting just, subsidized money. I wouldn't even say healthcare, just money, because they're fake people who are submitting a lot of these things. So maybe the doctors are getting it. Anyways, you get the point. So it goes on. We identified 7,000 socials where the reported date of death also was in 23. 7,000 dead people getting paid. Second, we identified 19,000 socials that matched the death date. In these cases, matches had different dates. This was synthetic identity fraud happening all over the government, and they're just handing out money. So you can see fraud everywhere. They have calculated the numbers. There's a lot of them. 58,000 social security numbers. 7,000 people were dead before coverage began. 94 million sent to health insurance on behalf of deceased people. Health insurance companies get $94 million for dead people. How are they going to provide treatment to them? So Republicans out about this, saying Trump said, we want you to just get the money. We don't need to send money to insurance companies. You can get the money, go buy health care, not health insurance. You want health care, and you can become a healthier person in that way. Now, Rand Paul was also responding. President Trump was talking about Rand Paul's solution to some of this healthcare problem stuff. And Rand was saying, hey, what about Costco or Amazon or Sam's Club? And we can lower premiums. And we read this post previously, but Rand responded to this and he said, there were some good things that were doable by the executive. And I did that with Trump in his first term. But now we need Congress to come out here and pass some legislation so that we can do this all appropriately and correctly and fix this problem once and for all. Here was Rand Paul. He came out yesterday, was talking about the healthcare plan. The Republicans are needing to come up with something. Here is one idea.
Got to ask you about healthcare, Senator. Just a couple couple of hours ago, you probably saw this, the president posting on Truth Social what appears to be a screen grab of a text that you sent him. Is that real, just for starters? Is that a text that you sent the president?
I did, and I've engaged with the president because I've worked with him before and still want to work with the president. In the first administration, I engaged with him on something called association health plans. These are group plans that individuals can buy. So, for example, the biggest problem we have in healthcare is that if you're a small business person, say you're an accountant and you have 3 employees, you want to buy insurance, you go into the individual market and you have no leverage. And if one of your employees gets cancer or you get cancer, they jack up the risk for your really small risk pool. Instead, what I'm proposing is you should be allowed to go anywhere you want to buy insurance across state lines, including places like Costco, Sam's Club, Amazon. And then if you became one of millions of people buying insurance, Amazon or Costco would negotiate directly with the insurance company and say, look, I got 10 million people who want insurance and I'm negotiating for them. And all of a sudden they become the largest entity in America and they'll drive the prices down. The problem with Obamacare, although well intended to help people, is when you give people money to buy insurance as insurance rates are going up, you say, I'll give you $1,000, then I'll give you $5, then I'll give you $10. You just keep chasing the rates higher because you're artificially increasing the demand and the price just goes higher. It hasn't worked. So originally President Obama said prices will go down $2,500 within, I don't know, a year or two of Obamacare, and the exact opposite has happened. So if we continue to do this, it won't get any better. We're chasing in our tail. We're chasing inflation. And so what we need is leverage and to allow the marketplace to work to bid down prices. My plan would also let everybody have an HSA, and it would let you purchase your health insurance out of an HSA. So as you save money and you're able to purchase your insurance out of it, there would be a possibility, particularly over time, that you might be able to accrue enough money that you would be able to get larger and larger deductible because you have a big savings account to cover your deductible.
All right, so that's one idea from Rand. We'll see what the Republicans do, but the fraud continues, and the president was asked about this. Of course, $1 billion of fraud for feeding our future, feeding our families, bold stuff out in Minnesota, in Ilhan land, and Trump was asked about this. He says these Somalians and these fraudsters, these people who are grifting off of Americans, should get the hell out.
The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, is saying that he's actually proud to have the largest Somali community in the country, and his police chief.
Well, then he's a fool.
Yeah, he is.
Well, his police chief is also
I
saying
wouldn't be
they
proud
might.
to have the largest Somalian. Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. Look, these Somalians have taken billions of dollars out of our country. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud. She tries to deny it now, but you can't really deny it because, it just happened. She shouldn't be allowed to be a congresswoman, and I'm sure people are looking at that. And she should be thrown the hell out of our country.
That's right.
And most of those people, they have destroyed Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota, you have an incompetent governor. You have a crooked governor. He's crooked as hell, but he's incompetent. Waltz he should be ashamed. That beautiful land, that beautiful state, it's a hellhole right now. And the Somalians should be out of here. They've destroyed our country. And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with, go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution. All she does is complain about this country. And without this country, she would not be in very good shape. She probably wouldn't be alive right now.
Yeah.
So Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon.
Yeah.
What the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is not even believable. And a lot of it starts with the governor. A lot of it starts with Barack Hussein Obama, because that's when people started coming in. And you have to have people come in that are going to love our country, cherish our country. They want to kiss our country goodnight. They talk about our country. We want them to pray for our country. This is not the people living in Minnesota. And she's a disaster. And her friends shouldn't be allowed. Frankly, they shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople. They shouldn't even be allowed to be congresspeople because they don't represent the interests of our country.
No, they don't. And that's why we want naturalization prohibitions for office. We want you to be a natural born citizen, just like the president. It's good enough for the presidency, good enough for Congress, good enough for the judges, good enough for the senators. So we are in favor of that. And if Ilhan got her citizenship naturalized on fraudulent pretenses because she married her brother or was disingenuous in her forms, then she should be denaturalized and removed. And I think that we've basically had enough of this. I'm tired of hearing mayors come out and speak Somali in American cities. This is America. If you want to go increase your Somalian livelihood, go back to Somalia. You too, Jacob Frey. And we know that they will never accept you. And secretly, they're calling you Ikwensuacha.